we live? Hey guys, this is Bobby Clue with Somerset-Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce. We're back today with another one of our chamber spotlights where we're highlighting our businesses of the year for 2024, our award winners from our 2024 banquet. Today, very excited. This is one of our Big Four awards. So I'm with Tiffany Finley. Tiffany is the recipient of our 2024 Woman in Business. So Tiffany, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's a very well-deserved award, and like I said, it's one that celebrates just all the different things that women are accomplishing here in our community. And it's a pretty impressive collection of women that have won this before you.
Oh yeah, I'm super just honored that I was chosen, and I can't believe all the women that's come before me, and I get to share this award with, and can't wait to pass it on to so many other women in our community.
I think about some Elsa Brown, Leah Taylor, Terry Tuttle, Megan Dameron, Linda Scarab. Yeah, just some tremendous people that have won this award over the years, and you're very deserving of this award. I love a good origin story. So that's kind of what I love. And I know this story. A lot of times I'm having to get this information out of people. I know some of this story because, you know, Tiffany and I know each other very well. She was the president of this chamber. Tell us about kind of your story on coming back here. I want to talk about maybe some time you were with Pulaski County government. Tell us that story about how you got back here and how did that happen?
Yeah, so when I left here after high school, I went off into the big world, never to come back to this place. You know, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to get out of here. And, definitely came home in 2007 with my tail tucked between my legs, not really knowing, kind of failed out in the big world financially, like a lot of kids do that go off to college and just can't make it. But came back home, started working for the county judge as his secretary.
And this was Barty Bullock, right? Judge Bullock.
Yeah, in 2007. I think 2007 was when it was. And January 2007. And, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I just was like, I'm going to be this guy's secretary and see where it leads me. And just from there, Barty was such an amazing boss and really pushed me. He saw a lot in me that I didn't know that I had in me. And really pushed me to get out in the community and go to meetings on his behalf. And that's when I really started falling in love with this community. And the very first thing I did when I started working there was join chamber leadership class.
Oh,
and
good.
that really changed my whole perspective on this community.
Well, I know that you're someone, you got the bug early, and you wanted to be involved in this community. And I would say, of all the things you did, I mean, I know that you were significant in a lot of different things you did for the county, but you were probably one of the first grant writers that they ever really had that had some significant projects that I could think of. And I know one, I believe that there was an orange car that jumped it recently, the fountain in downtown. So you were the person, you got the $1 million grant for that, right?
I did, and I honestly had zero grant writing experience, but I think a lot of times people put too much on grant writing for the writing and not so much the passion and the heart behind the project. And I really think that's why we were able to get $1 million back in 2010, I think it was, to redo the Fountain Square. We were just joking about this picture.
There's actually a picture here, and if you can zoom in possibly, this right here. So tell me what's going on here. This really rough-looking fountain.
So before we got the grant, Judge Bullock was like, just go out there and make it look pretty. So we had the garden club plant all these flowers. And then actually Jeff Wilson, who is the deputy judge now, so proud of him, he and Donnie, we went out there and we connected PVC pipe to the actual plumbing out there and made the water flow for the first time in it was like 20 years or
how
something.
Sad does that look?
But we were so proud of it.
Yeah, well, because I'm assuming for a long time that was probably just a big empty hole there.
Yeah, no flowers.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty at
just
all.
a really unappealing circle in our downtown. And I'll tell you, if you look at it now, what gosh, what it looks like now. I mean, it's such a beautiful addition to our downtown. I get compliments on it weekly in the
It's
summertime.
kind of a heartbeat. I still think, even though I don't work for the county anymore, you know, when I'm at that stop sign right in front of them, I'm always like, wow.
I did that. I helped
Well,
with
and also
that.
just like how beautiful is our downtown.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, you transitioned then from, you know, your time in Pulaski County government. You know, I'd say most people probably know you for your involvement with the Master Musicians Festival. So, you know, something that I'd never gone to until I moved back here, and since then I've never missed one. It's one of my favorite things here in our community. I don't know a lot about festivals, but I will tell you, it is one of the cleanest, most family-friendly events every summer in our community. And you transitioned from a role as just a volunteer to the president of the board to actually their CEO, their executive director now, correct?
Yeah, so I asked if I could volunteer back in 2009, and that's when I was actually volunteered for the chamber, another chamber moment, but Summer Blast.
Yeah.
Remember Summer Blast? We had Exile and Kentucky Headhunters play,
about that.
and I asked the young chambers at the time were asked to be the runners, and I was a runner, and I was like, this is so fun. I think I'm going to ask Master Musicians Festival if I could volunteer for them. And in the very moment I did, the director at the time was leaving. So she actually asked me, and the board asked me if I would just step in as the president of the board my very first. I wasn't even a volunteer before. I just immediately became president of.
I don't even know if I knew that. So they just threw you right in.
Yeah, the very first board meeting, they were like, here you go.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to be president? And then I just had to figure it out. But again, it's just all about passion and being part of, you know, and loving the community and getting the community involved. And that's what I'm probably most proud of. This will be my 17th year coming up, which is crazy. But, you know, and I guess it was after 11 years that they hired me full time as the executive.
So let's talk about some of the great acts that have come through. So, you know, Mountain Park's probably still to this day my favorite.
Yeah.
Love them.
I just talked to that guy a couple of weeks ago.
They're amazing. Tyler Childers.
Yes.
Who are some of your favorites that have come through in your 17 years?
Yeah, I think those two especially, and then St. Paul and the Broken Bone was just a wow moment. That was just a big moment for me too. Just when you think everything is going wrong, they were late. They forgot the time change was happening.
Oh no!
You know, they rolled in 5 minutes before they were supposed to go on stage, and that was like the one band I wanted everyone to see. And I just remember sitting there just stewing, like, oh my gosh, the community's gonna miss this band. And they were changing behind dumpsters, and, you know, into the little suits, and they got out there, and it was like one of the best shows anyone's ever seen at our festival.
It was awesome.
And everyone was having such a good time, and that's when I was like, I'm gonna start having more fun in my life. So I was like, that's when I started going to a lot of music festivals and stuff too, because I was like, they don't even know anything is happening.
Well, you know, and the Master Musicians Festival has evolved from, you know, something that probably, you know, the first one probably just had a few hundred people at it, and I think the whole mission of that was to raise money for an instrument for Tommy. Was it for Tommy Cave? Is that who it was for?
Well,
Tommy Mitten. Tommy Mitten.
And that's there's just so many stories, and that's
these all
one of
urban
them.
legends?
I was 14.
I
don't
love
know
that.
when it started, but I do know the mission statement, and that is to bring arts and culture to rural Kentucky, where it's not otherwise readily available. And I think after 33 years of the festival, you can look around, and I think our mission has, you know, worked.
Yeah. How many people were at the Master Musicians Festival just about, you know, about a month and a half ago?
Right at 8,000.
8,000.
Yeah.
It's a significant economic impact to our community, and you know, it's something that I believe that if you go once, I think you're going to go several more times. It's one of those things where I'm not a big, you know, music guy. I usually don't know most of the people that are there, but you know, there's always 2 or 3 bands that you're going to fall in love with. I mean, this volunteer board that you have, they are they're very passionate about this as well, and they want to put out a great product, and they love finding those hidden gem bands that you try to get them before they explode and you can't afford them,
Yeah,
right?
that's the game. You got to find them as they're coming up or coming
Yeah.
down, So,
Oh, yeah.
but I remember seeing you out there Saturday night and just you were so excited about the gins.
The gins?
Never heard of the
Yeah,
gins,
they were
never
awesome. I
heard of
filmed them.
them.
I was loving those guys.
Spooky Foxes who, suggested them,
Yep,
and
right.
it was a big deal to get them all the way here.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
They're from Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be big time. And
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I love that you had an emphasis this year on our local guys too.
Oh,
You had Cody Flynn and who else
we
was
had
there?
Hunter Flynn.
Hunter Flynn. Not Cody.
Hunter Flynn,
Cody.
Hunter Flynn,
Hunter
and Cody
Flynn,
Lee
Cody Lee
and then
Lees.
just tons of other, like the Sanchez's and Todd
Yeah.
Clayton from down here, and just
I like
so
to see
many.
it. Just they're Brittany's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, that was really cool. And yeah, so we were like, why would we go out to other communities
Right.
and get their Hunter Flynns when we can just get our Hunter Flynn?
Yeah.
And
Well,
celebrate him and put him in a
put him on the big
spot.
stage.
Yeah.
It worked out really well
Yeah.
too. I love MMF, and I think that's what a lot of people may know you for. But I wanted to know all these other layers as to why you got this award. Another part of your life was a time when you were on this board of directors. You were the president of this chamber. If we look over at that plaque right there, your name is on that wall. We just celebrated our past presidents, and we're celebrating 100 years of this chamber this year. And I think that another really important thing that you've done through the chamber was the formation of the RISE Women's Leadership Program. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of an unspoken thing when you become president of this chamber. You want to leave a legacy, and some people do it. It's not a mandatory thing, but I knew being on this board for 12 years and being a young woman in this community and how awesome it was for me to have a boss that's so supportive of me getting out and being involved. I really wanted to create a space where other women felt that.
Right.
That I wanted them to feel safe, and I think people feel safe with the chamber. They know if it's a chamber-backed initiative that it's okay to attend. It's okay to miss work because it's going to be quality programming.
Absolutely.
For you to be able to come. So I knew. So yeah, we didn't really know what that looked like at first, but it's really kind of evolved in this
We're in our
fourth year.
Fourth year of that program?
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I think to this day, and I'll just tell you, maybe you can tell me your favorites. I remember we did an event a couple of years ago now out at the harbor, and it was with elected women across the state.
Yeah.
And there was such a stark realization that happened that there's 120 counties in Kentucky, and there's only 2 female judge executives at the time
Yeah.
in Kentucky. And we had one of them with us.
That's right.
We had mayors from different areas that came and joined us, and we had Allison Ball, who is now our state auditor.
State auditor.
She was the treasurer, I think, at that point. She came and spoke to us and kind of told us about, her, history in those positions. The whole underlying tone, though, was so interesting because it was talking about women in elected office and how much more challenging it is for them than it is a man.
Yeah, we just were real. We were just real about it too.
It was. Very often, a man might say, I got to go. There's a thing tonight. It's a fundraiser. I'll see you later. A lot of times, a mom can't do that.
Yeah.
There is an extra layer of difficulty a lot of times for those women. And I would have never thought about those things. And it really brought a lot of those things to the surface when you hear an entire collection of powerfully elected women from across, multiple, state, local, city. Yeah, we had Amanda Bullock who was there, right?
Also, I thought was a crazy moment when we were like, out of all the elected officials in Pulaski County, we have these 5 cities,
right?
County, state. You only have one female elected.
Yeah.
Besides obviously the judges.
Yeah.
That's a little different, but
Right.
yeah. But you have one female.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Golly, and so there was a lot of things about that one I really enjoyed. But we focused on women's wellness, health. We've done just networking events.
Financial.
Yes, financial.
Oh, the small business one was great.
The small business one was excellent. I enjoyed it. Was that the one we did out at Suits Farm?
Suits Farms.
Excellent one.
Yeah, we had several women-owned businesses come and be on a panel. And they had Kristen Smith with the Wrigley, who has an amazing business over in Corbin.
And these events are free.
Yes.
There's no charge. We always find sponsors for those. You know, Tiffany's going out, she's shaking the trees, and she's finding sponsors, and they're just working out. And so we've got one of these coming up in October.
Yes, and I don't even know, have we even announced it yet? I
don't actually know if we have. I think it's on the 16th, isn't it? Yeah.
For the extroverts, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be like a speed dating, but networking.
Speed
so
networking.
Be watching for it.
They're a lot of fun, and these are for women only. So I'm going to be tucked in a corner taking some pictures just for social media marketing. But this is, and we'll have, it varies depending on where we're at and what the activity is. So we might have 250 spots available. This next one we have 90 spots.
Yeah.
That's it. So when we start marketing that. That's it. It's going to be the first 90 ladies that RSVP. That's it. Lunch is provided. It's a wonderful allocation. I think it's a great legacy that you left. And I thought it was great enough that I even talked about it at our past president's luncheon. I think it's significant enough to put it up there as something that's really going to be here for a while. I mean, I like the value on the program. You're also a mentor for our leadership program, Leadership Lake Cumberland. You get to go out and get to know and interact with all those people.
So important to me. It's been kind of my passion. That's why I really want to stay involved with that. And I think I told you when I rolled off the board, I was on the board for 12 years. I think I've been involved in everything at some point.
You might be the longest serving board member ever.
I think I am. But yeah, I was just like, okay, two or three programs I can stay involved in to make sure that I still have a big part in the chamber, but I'm not, attending everything.
And you've got a full-time job with MMF. Yeah. That's a full-time gig. So obviously we don't want to, overburden you with things, but I'm glad that you found some ways to stay involved with the chamber. And again, I hope that everybody that's watching this understands, there's so many layers to this story. We've touched on, I think just a few of them, Tiffany, but I wanted to hit some of the bigger things on why I feel like this award is so significant and why you deserve to win it. I looked through all the different things you've done since you moved back here in 2007, and how much you've evolved, how much this community has evolved, and I love this award. So very deserving. I want to say thank you for being a member of the chamber. I want to congratulate you on being our woman in business for the year 2024. And any final thoughts or anything like that?
Thank you for all the support. You've always been a big supporter of mine and a cheerleader, and love everything you're doing with the chamber. And we're one of the strongest chambers for a reason. So appreciate you, and can't wait to see what we do next.
Thank you, Tiffany. Guys, we've got another chamber spotlight tomorrow. So go ahead and tune back in tomorrow for that. I think it's at 2 o'clock as well. Is that right, Ace? So tune back in. Until then, thank you all very much for listening. Talk to you soon.